Live from McKeithen Stadium in Gainesville, the SEC Network presents Florida Gators baseball. Tonight, the Gators meet the Georgia Bulldogs. Big weekend series here at the ballpark. The Gators playing their final home series of the regular season. The top two teams in the SEC colliding here. The Gators at 18-6. Number one in the nation, best record in the SEC, and right behind the Georgia Bulldogs, 15-9, trailing by 3 games. Along with Nick Belmonte, Mick Hubert here at the ballpark. Mick and Nick at night here at McKeithen Stadium. And Nick, it's a big series. The Gators have a chance to win the championship this weekend.
Yeah, the outright championship in the SEC. If they're able to pull this off, it would be the 15th for the program in its history. And how about this? In only his 11th year, it'll be the 5th for Kevin O'Sullivan. That's pretty amazing, but they have a tough Georgia team. Scott Strickland's done a great job with the Bulldogs this year.
Well, Sunday will be the official senior day for Florida, but tonight we're going to look at a couple of juniors, Nick, who are probably playing their last regular season series here at this ballpark.
Yeah, these are going to be first-round draft choices. If you told Kevin O'Sullivan 3 years ago that he'd have to go to India to get a 3-hole hitter, he'd say, what are you talking about? But he went to American Heritage High School in Plantation and came up with this great player, Jonathan India, on par right now to be the player of the year in college baseball. And if you said, okay, Kevin O'Sullivan, to get your ace, you got to, well, let's see, you got to find yourself a singer. Well, does he go to The Voice? No, he goes down to Eustis, and he gets Brady Singer, a guy that's just been carving up competition all year long, 10-1 on the year, 21-8 in the career, and we're going to get to see him tonight. He has been amazing with his fastball that he runs it up there 97 miles an hour.
So Brady Singer with a record of 10-1 and a 2.33 ERA. He's third in the Southeastern Conference in earned runs. 13th start. He has a complete game. Turned it in last week, as a matter of fact. Opponents batting just 177 against Singer, who also is second in the league in innings pitched at 81 and sixth in the SEC with 86 strikeouts. For Georgia, head coach Scott Strickland now in his 5th season. Here's how the Bulldogs will bat tonight. Leading off is the right fielder Tucker Bradley, followed by Aaron Schunk at third base, Keegan McGovern in left. The middle third has Michael Curry, Adam Sasser, and Cam Shepard. And the bottom third, catcher Mason Meadows, L.J. Talley at second, and C.J. Smith in center field. Georgia 34-14, 15-9 in the SEC. Winners of 4 consecutive games. The Bulldogs have won 7 of their last 8. Beautiful night for baseball, and we're underway with a first pitch fastball, a swinging strike one, right on schedule at 6:32 Eastern Time to Tucker Bradley, hitting .298. 2 homers, 18 runs batted in, and Bradley stepping in with a 13-game hitting streak. He's hitting .386 during this streak, 22 for his last 57. And on 3 pitches, it's back to the bench for Bradley.
Well, that's how it starts tonight. Brady Singer, arguably the best pitcher in college baseball, a guy that bested Casey Mize only 3 weeks ago right here at McKeithen Stadium. A 3-pitch see ya starts the proceedings, and that's a good sign for the Gator pitcher.
92 degrees at the start of the game. The wind, similar to on Tuesday night, a little bit of a crosswind toward the right field corner at 5 miles per hour. So 1 out, and that brings up the Georgia third baseman Aaron Schunk. Schunk hitting .314, 2 homers, 32 driven in, and Schunk with a 16-game hitting streak, .368 during the streak, 25 for his last 68. Could be a problem. But Schwartz comes up, and a nice stretch by Bell, and no problem. 2-3 put out.
Yeah, the way that was beat into the ground, it looked like it was going to roll away from Schwartz, but he pounces on this thing. Watch Schwartz right here attack. And that's with the helmet on. I mean, that's a lot of weight carrying around. That's very cumbersome. He's able to spin around and make that throw. Great job.
So quickly, 2 out for Georgia. And that brings up the Bulldog left fielder Keegan McGovern. McGovern hitting .315. A team leading 13 home runs, which is 5th in the SEC. And a team leading 40 RBI, which is 11th best in the league. And he's got a line shot into left center field. Maybe a two-base hit. McGovern into second base with a double. His 11th double of the year. A two-out, two-back hit for McGovern.
Yeah, the sleeker Keegan McGovern dropped 15 pounds since last season. He went undrafted even though he had a good year. He goes down and gets this, and that's what I like about him. He'll spray it around. Takes a pitch that had good two-seam run going away. Doesn't try to pull it. He's going to be tough this weekend for the Gators.
McGovern had been 0 for 7 since snapping a 7-game hit streak. On Tuesday, he had a 35-game on-base streak come to an end. Gators appeal, but McGovern stepped on first base, says the umpire there, Barry Chambers. Home plate umpire tonight is Jeff Head, the crew chief. Second base umpire is Chuck Pack, and the third base arbiter is Clint Lawson. Here's Michael Curry. Curry hitting .321, 8 homers, 43 RBI. You look at the first 5 hitters in this Georgia lineup, and together they're well over 300 combined. Curry has a 5-game hitting streak. He's 9 for his last 21. Georgia averages 6.5 runs a game. And the Bulldogs batting .286, which is right in the middle of the pack, 7th in the league. Brady Singer had a gem last week, a complete game shutout, 111 pitches, gave up 6 hits, struck out 5, didn't walk anybody. As the Gators beat Texas A&M 9-0 in College Station. On average this year, Singer goes 6 2/3 innings per start, and he averages 93 pitches. Second baseman Blake Reese on to Keenan Bell. The inning is over. A 1-out double, a runner left at second base. Georgia nothing, and the Gators are coming up. With Nick Belmonte, Mick Hubert back here at the MAC. For Kevin O'Sullivan, here's how the Gators will hit tonight. Deacon Lippett, the shortstop, leads off, followed by the DH Nelson Maldonado, and then Jonathan Indy at third base, hitting third. Will Dalton in right, followed by J.J. Schwartz, and then Austin Langworthy, and the bottom third of Blake Reese, Keenan Bell, and Nick Horvath. And they'll face the offerings tonight of Chase Atkins, 5'11", 180-pound senior right-hander from Powder Springs, Georgia. Chase Atkins hasn't lost a game this year, 5-0, 4.12 ERA. His 13th start of the year.
Yeah, you can see by the stats, he's not going to wow you. They're going to put it in play. He's a 3-pitch mix guy, 87 he tops out at, mixes in the slider and the change. And the key thing right there, strike thrower. So he's just kind of got it, we'll speed it up, slow it down, keep you off balance, and that's the key to his ball game.
Georgia is 7th in the league in fielding at .979, 0.81 errors per game. So here comes Deacon Lippett, among the hottest hitting Gators. A .305 average, 6 home runs. It is 6th of the year in our game streamed to you on Tuesday night against USF. He has 30 RBIs. And with a 6-game hitting streak, Lippett has gone 11 for his last 21. That's a .524 average. He was 3 for 3 against USF Tuesday, including that 3-run home run. The Gators are 2nd in the league in scoring now, 7.3 runs a game, but trailing Auburn by just 2 runs total in the league run production. The Gators are 5th in the SEC in team batting at .289. Hit sharply, but a great snag by Talley to throw him out and rob Lippett of a hit. You can hang a star by that play by L.J. Talley.
the rangy second baseman at 6'3". And he needs all 6'3" of that wingspan right there. And the ball gets behind him. That was the amazing thing. He knocks it down, then the ball gets behind him, and he still has a presence of mind of making that play. To me, that was just as hard as him knocking it down with the speedy Lippert going from the left side.
So here's Nelson Maldonado. 271 average for Maldonado. 6 homers, 30 RBI. Same numbers that Lippert put up in terms of home runs and ribbies. Maldonado's scuffling, though. He's just 1 for his last 13. But he's happy to see that cue shot fall into right field.
Darn right he is, right? He lined out the other night, hit one right on the screws, and this one kind of makes up for it. Off the end of the bat, steers it to right field. And you take a million of them.
Well, Nick, right there, in 2 batters, we've seen the beauty of baseball.
Yeah, right.
Lippert scorched his.
Yeah,
he's in the dugout.
Right on the screws. And Maldonado reaches out, hits the end of the bat. He's rewarded. But, yeah, it all evens out in the wash, they say. They threw that ball out of play. I don't know if that was the ball got usually when it hits the end of the bat, it rips a hole in it, or it was a memento of a milestone.
Well, here's Jonathan India, who's having a milestone sort of season. 382 batting average, second in the SEC in hitting. 15 home runs, 4th in the league, and 38 RBI. There's a drive into left center field, and it's going to get off the wall in left center. And Craig Bell is waving home Maldonado. Here comes the throw to the plate, the slide, the tag. He's out at home. Maldonado trying to score from first on a 2-base hit off the wall in left. A very unique play, Nick, because I don't think the Georgia outfielders picked up on that ball at all. They were late breaking.
Yeah, they got it in quickly. As the ball lands, it almost looked like it was a for sure out, and it hits what highlight players call it chulas off of the wall, where it doesn't take much of a bounce. But you got to really credit that arm right there. That is amazing, as Shepard really guns that thing from short left field. Wow. Because he had to reach for a ball that was a dying quail, so he really didn't have any momentum on it. And he had to generate momentum and put his own arm strength and threw a strike. Good stuff.
Well, now here's Will Dalton, Gator right fielder. That double for India is the Gators' 107th double, second in the league. But at 107 doubles, they're 1 double away from the total they had all of last year. Will Dalton batting .278. Second in the SEC with 16 home runs. His 49 RBIs are 3rd in the league. So 1 ball, 1 strike. The Georgia pitching staff has been much improved from a year ago. They're second in the league, right behind Florida.
And
in opponent batting average.
Yeah, it was like 214 or something like that, isn't it? But where they really have the pitching going is in their bullpen.
And one of the things that's made them tough is that they will back you off the plate. They're not afraid to pitch inside. In fact, Georgia has hit 51 batters.
That's a nice changeup right there.
Those 51 hit batters lead the league.
The right-on-right change has really come back in vogue in baseball in the last 5 years.
The 2-2 pitch. We got him. So the Gators get a single and a double and fail to score. And after the opening inning tonight in Game 1 of the series, there is still no score. Florida and Georgia, longtime rivals. Gators lead in the all-time series. Florida has won 4 straight series against Georgia, and they've won 24 out of 32 against the Bulldogs in the Kevin O'Sullivan era. And the Gators have won 5 straight series against Georgia too. So that's how it shapes up as they meet here in the only night game of the weekend. They'll be at 1 o'clock tomorrow and then 1 o'clock on Sunday. First baseman Adam Sasser steps in here now for Georgia. Sasser hitting .338, 12th in the SEC in batting. He is Georgia's leading hitter in SEC games, hitting .381 against league pitching. He went 0 for 2 against Georgia Tech on Tuesday. That snapped a 6-game hitting streak. In the 6-game hitting streak, Sasser had been 12 for 24.
Yeah, National Player of the Week honors is pretty impressive stuff. He said he's just a guy that's finally figured it out.
Three-one pitch, lofted out to Horvath in left center, and there's one gone for Georgia here in the second. The Bulldogs beat Georgia Tech 3-1 at SunTrust Park on Tuesday night in Atlanta. They had 17,741 there this year. Last year, when the two teams played at SunTrust, they had better than 23,000. Georgia swept all 3 games this year from Georgia Tech. In fact, they've beaten the Yellow Jackets 6 games in a row. Georgia also swept a 2-game season series this year from Clemson. So they've been awfully good all year long. Started out the year 7-1. Here's Cam Shepard, who made the great relay throw to the plate. Got the assist on the putout of Maldonado. Shepard hitting .254. 3 homers, 31 RBI.
I can see that swing right there, a little bit long for a guy that's a middle infielder. And they said when he does get his base hits, they count. Seems to be a very clutch hitter when he delivers.
This ball fouled out of play down to the right. Should have a very, very large crowd here tonight. Last Friday night of the regular season. Gators finish up league play next weekend at Mississippi State. Another ball out to center field, and Horvath hardly had to move. 2 out. Georgia goes back home with the Presbyterian in a non-league midweek game, and then the Arkansas Razorbacks coming to Foley Field next weekend. So quickly, 2 out. Here's the Georgia catcher, Mason Meadows, hitting at .212 with 3 homers, 24 RBI. Meadows redshirted last year. Austin Bigger, who is still in the program, was basically the catcher last year for Georgia. Meadows had a game-winning 2-out, 2-run home run in the 8th inning to beat Alabama 6-5.
That was 93 with some late life.
Georgia is ranked 15th this week in the USA Today coaches poll. They're up to 12th in the poll by Baseball America. The Dogs with their best season since 2009. Sully going to come out and check on J.J. Schwartz.
You're watching the Cardinals-Cubs game last week. Yadier Molina's very similar situation, although that put Yadier on the DL. which required emergency surgery. I mean, I'll tell you, catchers, they don't get enough credit for what they have to go through in the course of a ball game.
And, you know, Nick, I was watching before the game, Sully's son, Finn, down there in a catcher's squat.
Yeah.
Another youngster was throwing him balls, and he looked like he's a catcher. Singer, nicely done. Boy, Singer now off the mound this inning. Schwartz from behind the plate last inning. They both made great plays on tough balls up the third base lane. Still no score at McKeithen Stadium. Here at McKeithen Stadium, Gators got 2 hits in the first inning, a single followed by a double. With Georgia gunned Maldonado out at the plate as Cam Shepard made the relay from shortstop position out in shallow left center field to the catcher Meadows. So here in the bottom of the second, it'll be the Gator catcher, J.J. Schwartz, followed by left fielder Austin Langworthy, and then second baseman Blake Reese against the Georgia right-hander Chase Atkins. Atkins 5-0. So here's Schwartz hitting .321, 10 homers, 41 RBI. J.J. red hot too, 6-game hit streak, 11 for his last 24. He's hit safely in 13 of his last 14 games. And over the last 14 games, he's hitting .415. So both Florida and Georgia each won midweek games this week. Gators rallied from a 6-0 deficit to beat USF here Tuesday night, 11-8. Going to be in the dugout, not a place for Sasser to make a play. So J.J. Schwartz gets new life.
Would it be better if his teammates cleared out of the way? I don't know. Maybe they kept him from reaching in. Kid's got the Rizzo look going, though.
You can reach over the railing and fall in, but you're really not supposed to run through the gap there on the fence.
Yeah, he was a little bit to the left of that.
1-2. Hit sharply, but foul down the left side.
As a hitter, you hate that because you know you squared it up and you're just a little too early. That's when they say when a hitter's on time. That's what it means. He's just a little early.
Foul back over our heads. Schwartz needs 2 hits to tie Josh Adams for third all-time in Gator history. He has 285 hits. He needs 2 doubles to tie Mario Linares for third all-time in 2 base hits at Florida with 58 career doubles.
It's been a solid year for JJ. He's really found a good home in the 5 spot.
There's where he ranks in school history. Nice pitch there by Atkins. He struck out Dalton and Schwartz back-to-back now.
Mick, let's go back to that play by Shepard. When I'm talking about what I liked about what he did here, the outfielder is going to make the throw. He does a little, and it's going to die low around the shoe tops. He picks it up off the ground, and that's usually not ideal. You want to hit your cutoff guy somewhere around glove high, head high, and that would give him momentum. And his throw and his turnaround and releasing it from the time it hit his glove to the time it got it to the catcher was lightning. That's what made that play happen.
Here's Austin Langworthy, who's hitting .299. No homers, 19 RBI. Langworthy is hitless over his last 8 at-bats since coming to the end of a 6-game hitting streak.
What's impressed me, at least this inning for sure, and he got JJ out on, is the slider at the knees breaking down. There's really not a whole lot you can do with that pitch.
Chopper down to the first baseman, Sasser. He'll make the play unassisted. So quickly, 2 out for Florida here in the second.
And why that's so enticing to a hitter, slider is obviously, it's an off speed. It looks very hittable, but if it starts off knee high and then the bottom drops out, you're just beating it into the ground or missing it altogether.
Now here's the Gators' second baseman, Blake Reese. Reese hitting .259. He hit his third home run of the season Tuesday night against USF. Has 34 RBI. Right now, Atkins has these Gator hitters swinging over the top. Has good movement. Florida trying for its 40th win of the year tonight at 39-11. Gators have won 4 of their last 5 games, and Florida has won 14 straight SEC series in a row, and they've won 18 consecutive series overall, including non-conference series.
Yeah, that's a slider 81. In under the hands. That has been his pitch tonight.
Three balls, 2 strikes. Atkins issues only 1 walk every 3 innings. And he's got that slider working. He struck out 3 of the last 4 Gator hitters. Gators go down in order in the second, and after 2, still no score.
To Ram than ever before.
Well, if you're just tuning in, the significance of this big series this week, you see it right there in the graphic. Florida and Georgia, they've got the 2 best records in the Southeastern Conference, both here in the Eastern Division. So the Gator magic number is 3. Any combination of Florida wins, Georgia losses, and Gators are the champions. So if Florida wins tonight, that would reduce the magic number to 1 heading into tomorrow's game. Arkansas is leading in the West by a half game. The significance there is in the SEC tournament at Hoover, both division winners are the top 2 seeds. Even though Georgia right now has the 2nd best record in the league, they would be the 3rd seed if the tournament were to have opened tonight. So there's some critical action here over the last 2 weekends. Have a little bit of delay because the home plate umpire, the crew chief Jeff Head, noticed a little divot taken there to the third base line. Yeah, when Brady Singer came off the mound last inning. And,
and Brady had the gap wedge out.
Yeah,
the caddy didn't fill it in.
So they fixed that up down there. Playing surface here at McKeithen Stadium is immaculate.
It's the best I've seen in years. It's beautiful.
8, 9, and 1 in the batting order for Georgia, with L.J. Talley has already turned in a sparkling play tonight defensively. And that's what Talley does. He set a Georgia record 2 years ago for fielding percentage, .989, as the Bulldogs' second baseman in 2016. Talley hitting .259, 4 homers, 21 RBI. Has a 4-game hitting streak. And over his last 8 games, he's hitting .345, 10 for his last 29. Popped up, shallow center, Nick Horvath.
Now you understand why Craig Bell sent Maldonado in the first inning. This is going to be a tight one. You take your shot when you can.
So now here's C.J. Smith. hitting .310, a homer, 5 RBI. The last 2 games he's played, he's gone 3 for 6, and now make that 4 for 7. Smith smacks a single to right. So the hits are now even at 2 apiece.
Down and through swing. See what they try to do here. You got Georgia, a team that we know they got the boppers in the middle of the lineup. Once they get towards the bottom, they go ahead and try to open it up a little bit. Big lead at first.
Now Tucker Bradley, who took a called 3rd strike and a 3-pitch at bat to start the game. He's a slash hitter. Pretty good with the bat. He can bunt. India playing in on the grass at 3rd base. There is the bunt. India charges. Bare hands. And Keenan Bell has done that all year long with a long stride and a good pick at first base. Sacrifice there for Bradley.
You got a quick runner going down the line from the left side. I like it. He didn't show it too early. I mean, he showed it a little bit earlier than normal, which is good because he wants to get in an angle. This is just a big league play on both ends. And Keenan Bell absolutely knows how to handle the position at first base. If he doesn't make that play, it could be rolling around foul territory, around the tarp, runners all over the place. Great job.
Now here's the Georgia 3rd baseman, Aaron Schunk. Schunk hit a home run at SunTrust Park on Tuesday night. Had to be a big thrill for him, an Atlanta native. Georgia beating Georgia Tech 3-1. There's a flare to right, and Dalton runs under it to make the play. Retires the side. No runs, a hit. Georgia leaves another runner at 2nd base, and after 2.5 innings, still no score. Around home plate, just takes great pride, does an outstanding job in maintaining this field, he and his crew. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Gators will go 8-9-1 here in the inning with Keenan Bell.
And
there's Todd there.
Yeah, and here's the thing about groundskeepers. They don't get the love. They're expected to have the field looking great. It's like umpires, right? They're expected to be making the right call on opening day and be perfect. Same thing with groundskeepers. He does a great job.
2 balls, no strikes, the count on Keenan Bell. Hitting .223, 6 homers, 26 RBI. Bell 1 for 3 against USF on Tuesday. Went 1 for 4 last weekend in the series against Texas A&M. SEC softball tournament continuing in Columbia, Missouri. Florida leading Tennessee 7-2 in the 3rd inning. It's already been quite a game for Nicole DeWitt of Florida with a couple of home runs, 5 RBI. The winner of the game between Florida and Tennessee will meet South Carolina for the SEC Tournament Championship tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
So what do you think? Nicole's going to hit another one tonight? Make it 3? Why not?
Why not? As Keenan Bell draws a walk to lead off the inning.
Hey, and what did we notice there? Breaking ball. He's living on that slider.
Hey, speaking of 2 home runs, taking a look at that pitch.
Actually, that's a change. Off speed.
Speaking of 2 home runs, Nick, today Wilson Contreras, 2 homers, 7 RBI. Cubs had a big win over the Southsiders.
Yeah, the offense is coming alive for the Cubs. Good to see.
Leadoff walk to Bell brings to the plate now Nick Horvath, hitting .280, 6 home runs, 31 RBI. Horvath struggled last weekend, 0 for 10 against the Aggies, but he had a bounce back game here Tuesday night with a 2 for 3 performance. No score, bottom of the third. Chase Atkins on the mound for Georgia.
And we talk about fundamentals all the time. Going back the other night to the Cubs game on Tuesday night, they win the game with the infield in. Bryant at third, Starlin Castro nonchalance a ground ball with the infield in, takes his time, doesn't, and throws a bad throw from about, I don't know, 60 feet away, and the Cubs win on that. I mean, it's amazing. You still have to play fundamental baseball all the way to the big leagues.
High pop left field. Keegan McGovern has plenty of time to get under it, make the catch. So 1 out for the Gators here in the third. I'll bring up Deacon Lippett. Lippett laced a shot to the right of the bag at second that L.J. Talley snagged and threw him out, robbing him of a hit in the first inning. Lippett has twice been drafted.
He was actually draft eligible a year ago. He was a draftable sophomore, but did not get taken. He's going to go this year. What he's doing defensively at shortstop's amazing. 1 error. But both these shortstops have had great years on both clubs. Cam Shepard fielded 975. We got Lippett over 990. Yeah, try to find a team that's not one of the better teams in a conference that doesn't have a good defensive shortstop. And that's the key, defense, where you can turn double plays, make the routine play.
That ball is hit hard to right, all the way to the wall. Bell will be held at third on the 2-base hit by Deacon Lippett. The Gators have now equaled the number of doubles they hit all of last year at 108. And by the way, the Gators have at least one extra base hit in every single game this season.
Well, what we are seeing with Lippett, at least the last couple games that we've had him, is getting on top of the ball. These are old-fashioned top spin line drives. He had a home run the other day against the team on Tuesday night, USF, that just cleared the fence but got out of here in a hurry on the right side. But all that talk of launch angles and all that, he's hitting it the old-fashioned way, getting top spin.
So the Gators with their best scoring chance. Runners on second and third, 1 out for Nelson Maldonado. Maldonado singled to right in the first inning. Just his second hit in his last 14 at bats. Keenan Bell at third with Deacon Lippett at second.
It's interesting how they've got him played, and Earl Weaver used to do this sometimes. They're playing him the pull in the infield and playing him opposite way in the outfield.
He's got a great opportunity to drive in runs, Nick, and he's hitting .395 this year with runners in scoring position. The shortstop, Sheffield, plays just with a couple of feet on the grass. And there's a ball driven up the middle for a base hit. Bell scores, Lippett being waved home. And that's how Nelson Maldonado now hitting .400 with runners in scoring position as the Gators have taken a 2-0 lead.
Well, Nelly says, you want to play me to pull? Okay, I'll just hit one up the middle. Yeah, we can get it going. And this is huge. Slider. And what I like about it, wasn't the worst pitch in the world, but that's the way you handle a slider like that. It's going to end up being shin high. You go down and get it and hit up the middle.
Maldonado now with his 31st and 32nd RBI. Gators are 25-4 this year when scoring first.
That leadoff walk, always finds its way in. And this is a game where there's not a lot of margin for error. If you're Georgia, you're facing Brady Singer, Gator offense. A lot of pressure on the defense here.
Now Jonathan India.
See, laying off those pitches is going to be the key, and let him come into you. Jonathan India got a pitch about thigh high his first at bat and almost hit it out of here. In fact, when he made contact, I thought it was out. I don't know how it stayed in, but he put a charge into it.
India is now hitting .386.
Now, Maldonado is not a threat to run. And I always wonder when pitchers are going to throw over to a guy at first base who's probably not your best base runner. Look, they get the stat sheets like everybody else, and you're facing one of the top hitters in all of college baseball.
On the inside corner for strike two.
That had India backing up. There's really not a, he's looking out for signs. There's really not a whole lot of signs right here. Got a 1-2 count and a guy to probably, if he's going to steal, is just to get in motion, but not necessarily try to steal the base.
Well, Nick, you've seen now the Gators have made adjustments because they were swinging over the top of that slider the first go around, but they're not as eager to get themselves out on that pitch right now.
Yeah, as they say, spitting on that pitch. In other words, for taking it. Yeah, he's seeing it well. I mean, that's a pitch they were chasing. That's a good point you made in the first time around. They're chasing that pitch. I'm still not used to seeing the thing out of the ear of the catcher. You can see getting his signals via the wireless setup.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Jonathan India. There goes Maldonado. Strike 3 is called. The tag. They've got to strike him out, throw him out, double play. Georgia turning its 40th double play of the year. A great ending to the inning for Georgia after the Gators had scored 2 runs. And after 3, it is 2-0. Gators with a 2-0 lead. As we go to the 4th, this is how the last inning concluded.
Yeah, Mason Meadows went down and got it. And, you know, he's had a nice year as Maldonado gets thrown out for the 3rd time this season in 3 attempts.
3, 4, and 5 hitters for Scott Strickland's Dogs here in the 4th.
They were telling me before the game that Meadows really only had 1 hiccup throwing out runners this year, and that was against Vanderbilt, which is the best running team in the conference.
This pitch is fouled out of play. Count even at a ball and a strike. And when McGovern took that first pitch for a ball, it ended a streak by Singer, who had thrown strikes 12 consecutive pitches. Last inning, in the 3rd, he was 10 for 10 in the strike zone. McGovern doubled in the left center field gap in the 1st inning, coming with 2 outs. McGovern, a senior from Willacoochee, Georgia, chasing a high fastball at 92 miles an hour. Second strikeout for Singer.
Yeah, he set him up on this pitch, and he said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go up the ladder. And you can see that pitch over the hand. Just a tough pitch for a hitter to get on top of.
Well, now here's Michael Curry, designated hitter. Born on the 4th of July in 1997. Whole country set off fireworks when he was born.
I always tell people they're still celebrating my birthday from 2 days previous.
Right. Yeah.
My second.
Ooh, look out. Well, both these pitching staffs will work inside. I mentioned Georgia leads the league, hitting 51 batters. But the hit batsman is nothing unusual from Brady Singer either. That's the 8th batter he's hit. As a team, the Gators have now hit 47 batters.
And that's a purpose pitch right there. Back you off.
One out base runner for Adam Sasser. Sasser, National Player of the Week in that great series he had at Mizzou. Went 7 for 13 against the Tigers with 4 homers, 10 RBI. Hit 3 home runs in one game. He had a 4-hit game. 3 of them left the ballpark. Drove in 6 runs on May 3rd.
And one of his home runs in that 3-home run game, was on the 10th pitch of an at-bat.
Sasser from Evans, Georgia. Best we can tell, no relation to the former big leaguer Mackie Sasser.
Mackie, yes. Catcher from the Mets.
Strike 3 on the inside corner. 2 out.
He slows you down, then he speeds you up. Breaking balls, and then that 2-seamer. Late life coming in with some late run is going to back him up. He says, I don't want to get hit with that pitch. And then it works its way back and paints the corner with it. See, that's what happens when he's hitting people on inside. They see that pitch inside, they're going to back up now. I mean, there's a method to the madness. Sometimes you'll be okay hitting a guy. Now they're going to go, I don't want to be hit by 95 miles an hour.
So now he just expanded the plate by about 5 inches.
Absolutely.
Cam Shepard flew out to Horvath in center field his first trip to the plate.
And this is a shutdown inning right here for Brady. First of the night.
Shepard has started all 105 games of his career at shortstop for Georgia.
Ow.
Gators with a 2-0 lead, scoring twice in the bottom of the 3rd. Florida has out-hit Georgia 4-2. And that hit column is so very important to the success of both these teams. Horvath charging in, and making another fine play in center field. No runs, no hits, a hit batter, and a man left on base. Bottom half of the 4th, 2-0 Florida. The Bulldogs, 2-0 bottom of the 4th. It's good to throw hard, but it's better to be a pitcher than just a thrower.
Yeah, I mean, this is all set up by the previous part of the inning. When he hits Curry right here, he's saying, okay, you guys are not going to crowd the plate on me. I got 95, 97. I don't care if you're wearing an arm pad. And then he goes back foot slider here. Change up, gets him the chase. Then he's going to go ahead and throw one more off speed. That's the slider with some late bite. And then he's going to go 2-seam in and back him up. Really set up by the fastball that hit Curry.
That's not even fair.
No, those are big league pitches. What you saw right there. I mean, you throw that sequence right there in a big league game tonight against a left-handed hitter, you're probably getting him out 8 out of 10 times.
Here's Will Dalton, struck out his first at bat. Dalton is second in the league in striking out. It's the one area that he'd like to improve on. Missing too many balls, but when he does square them up, look at those numbers: 16 homers, 49 RBI. I mentioned the importance of the hits to the success of these two teams. The Gators are 31-2 without hitting an opponent, and that's exactly the way they finished all of last year. They were 31-2 last year when they out-hit the opponent, and they've already tied that mark this year with all this games left to be played. Still probably 6 or 7 weeks. 31-2 Florida when out hitting an opponent. 29-4 Georgia when out hitting an opponent. Little squibber fielded by Atkins.
He'll be throwing that ball out of play shortly. Anytime you do that, that puts a slice in the baseball. The umpires are waiting for the ball to be thrown around, and they're going to look at it. That ball's going to get thrown out of play.
So J.J. Schwartz steps in here now. Schwartz hitting .319. Struck out swinging in the second inning. That ball is hit long gone. Oh my! Hit that ball off the back screen. J.J. Schwartz, his 11th home run of the season and his 48th in his career, taking over sole place, 4th place in Gator history with 48 career home runs.
Try to sneak a get me over fastball, and JJ says, nay, nay. I'll show you what I'm going to do is get me over fastball. Hello. Just under belt high. Everybody in the park knows it. You see the arms going up as soon as they heard it. Yeah, he knew it.
Florida has now hit 72 home runs, and that ties Kentucky for second in the league, behind Arkansas, which has hit 2 more. 74 home runs by the Hogs. Again, 72 home runs by Florida, 19 home runs more already than all of last season. Georgia had been stingy in giving up the gopher ball. They had only allowed 33. That's the 3rd lowest number in the league.
That's pretty good darn pitching. As I recall, their ballpark there is susceptible to balls pulled down the line if you're a left-handed hitter.
Langworthy's got to try something else because he's bounced out twice on 2 hopper choppers to Sasser at first.
I don't think they've changed the dimensions much since I played for the Gators, and they used to have a power hitter at Georgia back then named Larry Littleton, their home run guy. Played in the big leagues with Cleveland.
So 2 out for Blake Reese. Gators are 30-9 on the year when they've homered in a game. The Georgia pitching staff allowing opponents to hit just .227. That's second in the league. Florida at .223, leading the league in opponent batting average. Georgia ERA at 3.52, 4th in the league. Gators 3.24, which was second in the league. Georgia's been hot, though. The Dogs have won 7 of their last 8 games, and they've done it with great pitching and very good hitting. They've been really tough. In these last 8 games, Georgia's staff ERA is 3.33, and the batting average in the 8 games, which they've gone 7-1, is 326.
And you talk to these guys about what's been the difference this year. Why are you chasing an SEC title as opposed to the last couple of years? They said, well, basically the younger guys have gotten older, more experienced, and a guy like McGovern had a good year last year, but was not drafted, came back for his senior year.
Strike 3 call to the outside corner, and that ends the inning. But the Gators add to their lead as J.J. Schwartz smacks this ball over the left field bleachers to make it 3-0. 3 runs, 5 hits for Florida. No runs on 2 hits for Georgia. Young fans at the ballpark. Just an ideal night. It was warm though today. 92 degrees at first pitch. There's J.J. Schwartz moving up the charts. Look what he has done in home runs per at bat. His freshman year was unbelievable, 18 home runs. But approaching that number now in terms of 1 home run every 17 at bats versus 1 every 14. And Schwartz in home runs with 48. Next up would be Brad Wilkerson, by the way, 3rd place at Florida with 55. Then Preston Tucker, 56, and the all-time leader, Matt Laporta, who had 74 home runs.
I'll tell you a stat that's not on there. That night against Stetson, he had a home run, I think, for every 1.25 at bats his freshman year.
And that was the big game that he had. JJ had 5 hits against Stetson on April the 7th.
That'd be 1.2 at bats then.
5 hits, April the 7th, 2015. 4 of the hits were home runs. He had a double. He had 18 total bases and 10 runs batted in.
Ouch.
And we were here on a Tuesday night game.
10 RBIs in a game. That's like Avery Barnes-like, isn't it? Huh? Didn't Avery do that? Second baseman.
Strike 3 call to the outside corner against Meadows.
Yeah, he's frustrating. Slider paints the corner. The scouts are here tonight, as they always are when Brady pitches, as the draft is getting closer and closer.
Second baseman L.J. Talley. Oh for 1 tonight. Talley's birthday was just 4 days ago. Turned 21 years old last Monday, but it was on his 20th birthday that he hit a home run, May 7th of last year. He's hit 7 in his career. But I think the most famous home run that comes to my mind for a college player on their 20th birthday was the home run that Brad Wilkerson hit on June 1st of 1996 at Omaha. Out at first base, 2 out. The Gators beat Florida State on the Wilkerson grand slam home run on his 20th birthday, and then Wilkie came off first base and closed out the game on the mound. That was on opening day in Omaha at Rosenblatt. Opening day, June 1st, the World Series started back in '96.
It still had enough energy to blow out the candles, I'm told. Oh, Wilkie, we just saw him a couple weeks ago. Looks great.
Get the other way, and that's in there. C.J. Smith having a night, going for 2, and he's safe at second with a single and now with a double. 2 for 2 tonight for C.J. Smith. And speaking of C.J. Smith, he was here a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
Gator who played on the 98 team, C.J. Smith from Dallas, Texas.
That ball's going to find a home down the line. CJ's going, why am I batting ninth? I'm owning this first rounder.
Yeah, in fact, now over his last 3 games, C.J. Smith has 5 hits in his last 8 at-bats. Now back to the top of the lineup for the right fielder, Tucker Bradley. Speaking of birthdays, he celebrated his 20th birthday on Sunday. Deacon Lippert throws him out. No runs, 1 hit. Halfway through tonight, another gem in the making for Singer, who leaves the mound leading 3-0.
Well, Gators in the bottom of the 5th hold that 3-run lead, and the end of that play, he got the player and the umpire a little gloss nose stare. Look at that. Yeah, there you go. Nice job. Always good to be friendly with the umps. I've learned that the hard way. As a player and a manager.
No, we're halfway through this game tonight. The Gators leading the Bulldogs 3-0. It'll be Bell, Horvath, and Lippert. Same way the Gators batted in the 3rd, 8-9-1. Against Chase Atkins, who's undefeated on the year at 5-0. Bell walked to lead off the 3rd. Got way around early on this one. On the top of the Limeron building. In the opening game of the SEC series this year, the Gators are 7-1, hitting .278 in the opening game. Talley off to the side with the snag, throws him out.
That's actually an impressive number considering the top-notch pitchers you see on the opening night of a series in the SEC. I'm not going to say Friday night because some obviously are playing on Thursday night, but 271, you take that all day, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, it was a lot easier back in the day when you could say the Gators are hitting whatever on Friday night, but like you say, some nights Friday is game 2 now since the league has gone to a rotating Thursday night schedule occasionally. So here's Horvath. He flied to left fielder Keegan McGovern his first trip to the plate. A little slow roller charging in his Shunk. Got a great arm. Throws him out. Shunk is one of the top closers on the Georgia team. He comes from third base to the mound to finish up some Georgia games.
He just looks like a ball player, doesn't he? Watch this. Under control. He already knows he's got the good arm, so the key for him is just to make sure that he smoothly gathers it in the glove because he knows, hey, I can throw anybody out.
4 in a row retired now by Chase Atkins since giving up the home run to Schwartz. So 2 away, and leadoff man Deacon Lippert steps in. He has smoked a pair of balls tonight, and he's hit this ball on the screws, but C.J. Smith going back and makes the play. But Lippert has hit 3 balls. He's barreled up 3 balls, has 1 hit. After 5 innings at the MAC, Florida 3 and Georgia nothing. Brady Singer in complete command again tonight, Nick.
Yeah, control all of his pitches. He's got the 2-seam fastball with run. He's got this changeup going. There's the fastball working its way back over the hand fastball. Comes in with another 2-seamer. Sliders look good and tight. That's efficient right there. That's a work of a guy that's going to be high in the draft June 4th.
The most pitches Singer has thrown in an inning tonight is 16. Oddly enough, the 16 pitches came in the 2nd inning when he retired the side in order. So 66 pitches through the first 5 innings. As the tough hitters now, though, Shunk, McGovern, and Curry, and the Dogs lineup, hitting 2, 3, and 4 here in the 6th inning.
And always good to face that part of the lineup with a 3-run lead, right? You can challenge a little bit more.
Shunk 0 for 2. With a 16-game hitting streak on the line here tonight. Not anymore. 17 consecutive games with a base hit for Shunk. A little flare to left field, leading off the 6th inning.
Yeah, fastball ate him up. Hey, if that was a wood bat, when Brady plays at the next level, that's probably sawing him off, but not with the BB Core bat. He's a big, strong kid. He's going to fight that off, and it's going to clear over Lippett's head.
4th hit tonight for the Bulldogs, and that brings up Keegan McGovern. McGovern was the National Player of the Week at the end of February. February 25th, awarded the honor. He was a week in which he hit .571 with 4 home runs, 10 RBI. He's got 13 home runs this year. And McGovern has hit 24 career home runs for Georgia. That's a base hit down the right field line. McGovern mashed this ball to the right field corner as Shunk will come to third. A 2-base hit for Keegan McGovern, his 2nd double of the ball game. And Georgia now runners on 2nd and 3rd and no one out.
And like I said, better to face those 2 guys with a 3-run lead, because when these things happen, you still got the 3-run lead. He hangs a slider, probably the worst pitch he's thrown all night, but you tip your cap to the hitter for keeping his hands back. And that kid can just flat out swing it.
That's the 3rd double tonight for Georgia. The season high is 5 doubles Georgia hit against Wofford on February 27th. Well, now here's Michael Curry, 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his last trip to the plate. Curry is hitting .344 with men in scoring position. A little flare to right is foul.
Yeah, that's a fastball, just exploded in on his hands. You know, Brady is such a competitor. When he gets in these situations, he turns it on the beast mode.
Top of the 6th inning. An hour and a half has not elapsed. Tuesday night, an hour and a half, we were in the 2nd inning.
That's right. Yeah. And there's no guarantee of the time of game tonight either. It's starting off quick. We see some games this year that start off slow and then it became pitcher's duel.
The 1-2 pitch from Brady Singer.
And Brady definitely going for the strikeout here. You want the strikeout pop-up. Gators giving up a run defensively with a 3-run lead. Infield playing back. They play him straight away all the way around.
Singer 4 strikeouts tonight, 90 strikeouts on the year. He knew he needed it, and he got it.
Curry's going, how did I miss that? Watch the bite on this slider. He pulled his shoulder in his head is how he missed it. Watch everything fly open here. Just doesn't stay on the pitch. If you're going to stay on the pitch, that head does not turn to the left like you just saw in the replay. Especially on a breaking ball.
Well, here's Adam Sasser. A fly out and a strikeout tonight for Sasser. Both of his parents and his grandfather, Georgia alums. Sully going out and talk with Singer here right now.
Not sure what this is about, actually, after a strikeout. Maybe something he just didn't see in his delivery.
Yeah, that last pitch, I thought that Schwartz kind of was really setting up wide outside, almost like he caught it. Schwartz did, almost in the other batter's box the way he lined up. I don't know if that had anything to do with the conversation
or just going over the game plan on how to pitch him. I mean, obviously, a guy like Sasser, you're going to have a game plan to pitch to him, especially with 2 runners on in scoring position.
I didn't notice any wasn't any flinching by Singer after he delivered the pitch.
That's one of those things you're going to find out after the game what Sully was thinking there. Now remember, I mean, you do have a base open. And I know, yes, he does represent the tie run, but this is not the 9th, folks. This is only the 6th. I mean, you do not have to give in to him. The guy on deck is hitting in the 250s.
2 balls, no strikes. Singer not even close on these 3.
Yeah, you almost don't even want to mess with him here. You got a 254 hitter coming in on deck. There's Shepard.
Gators got 2 runs tonight in the bottom of the 3rd on a Nelson Maldonado 2-run single, and then got a solo home run from J.J. Schwartz in the 4th inning. And that'll load him up on the first walk allowed tonight from Singer.
Yeah, and that's one of those deals where, okay, I got a base open, 3-1 pitch. No sense laying one right over the plate off a dangerous hitter, the reigning National Player of the Week, and you can go after a 254 hitter.
Cam Shepard has hit 2 flyouts to Horvath in center. Another one like that would probably bring in a run. Runs have been few and far between
trying to
when
set
Singer
up,
pitches.
And setting up this whole at bat to get a ground ball here.
Bell dropped the ball. Safe all around. That's an error on Bell, and it has snapped a streak of 17 in a 3rd innings in which Singer had thrown shutout baseball.
Well, right here, he's going to take it out of his glove once he gets it, and it just fell out before he even got a chance to reach in and get it. He didn't even realize it was coming out. He reached for it and wasn't there.
The Gators had played errorless baseball in 3 of the past 4 games. In fact, the Gators are leading the SEC in fielding at .982. The major league average is .984.
And Mick, that was the ground ball. You know, he was looking to get a ground ball. He got it. He actually got it on the first pitch.
So now it's 3-1, and the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first for Mason Meadows. So Singer was cruising along, but in trouble here in the 6th.
Yeah, it's getting a little dicey here. That first pitch could have gone either way. It was called a ball, and now you got a 2-0 count with the bases loaded. He's got to come up with a big pitch here.
Meadows hitting .306. Pops one up. Schwartz with the mask off. And that's a big out in foul territory. Meadows, the second out of the inning.
How big was that big pitch coming? That was huge right there. My goodness. Behind in the count, and he gets that. Outstanding for Singer. Now, think about this. Without the error, he's out of the inning. You know, bases loaded. He'd give up 1 run, but he'd be out of the inning right now. But, you know, Singer, he's up to the challenge.
Now L.J. Talley, who's 0 for 2. Valley, hitting .255. McGovern on third, Sasser on second, with Shepard running at first. There's a deep drive hit the right field, and this ball is gone. L.J. Talley takes one out of the yard. A grand slam home run high over the fence and right. And Georgia has scored 5 runs here in the 6th inning.
Well, they're not earned runs in the book, but they sure count. And that was huge. How about the 8 and 9 hitter tonight for Georgia? Pitch belt high inside, clears his hands in, brings his hands in, and just absolutely crushes it. This gets out of here quick. Everybody in the Georgia dugout, they do. That's how a game of baseball can turn on a dime.
Georgia has now homered in 5 games in a row. They've hit 47 home runs. Last year, they hit just 40. Rolling out to Blake Reese. On to Keenan Bell, retire the side. But Georgia gets 5 runs on 3 hits. There was an error in there. And now the Bulldogs lead it 5-3. An awesome shot over McKeithen Stadium. Kyle working the camera here. Look at this. There.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Wow.
It's like a Marjorie Killen Rawlings, the yearling, which took place near here. That was the setting.
Well, we go to the bottom of the 6th inning now with Chase Atkins in the lead as he bids to win his 6th game of the year. Atkins 5-0 and pitching with a 2-run lead. Maldonado, India, and Dalton. Florida rallied from 6 runs down on Tuesday night, trailing 6-0 against USF to win 11-8. If they're going to win tonight, the Gators are going to have to rally again. It's a good start for Florida as Maldonado draws a walk to begin the inning. And matter of fact, inning number 6 this year is the inning in which the Gators have scored the most runs of any inning. They played at 63 runs in the 6th inning.
Yeah, there's a couple ways you could look at that. One, you could say it's another 3rd time around against the pitcher, or they're rudely greeting the relief pitchers.
Big cut there from India.
Yeah, starting him off slider, and he bit for it. That was a fastball swing right there.
Gets sharply back of 3rd. Shump knocks it into foul territory. Safe all around. That's a base hit for Jonathan India, his 2nd hit of the game. And the Gators have runners at 1st and 2nd with no one out.
Yeah, this eats him up, and this is a tough play. Down the line. He actually goes to his knees on this one. I don't even think with his good arm he was going to be able to get up and throw out India, who runs well. People don't realize how good India runs. You see the power numbers. We may see that young man in later in this ball game. Definitely see him this weekend. You mentioned he's the closer.
Well, now Will Dalton, 0 for 2. 5-game hitting streak on the line. Dalton leads the Gators in RBI with 49. First pitch hit off the end of the bat. C.J. Smith is there. So an eager Will Dalton flies out to shallow left center.
Yeah, got him out in front of a first pitch off speed. And we see that. I mean, they pitch Will backwards. There's no mystery there.
Georgia Penn getting loosened. Just now getting going out there for Georgia. Zach Kostovac and Tony Losi. So runners at first and second now with one out for J.J. Schwartz.
That's the same pitch he threw Dalton right there. This time it was taken.
Schwartz has 23 hits in his last 55 at bats. In the fourth inning, here's JJ.
Here's on a fastball. How about timing it up?
That gave Florida a 3-0 lead with Brady Singer on the mound, but not so fast. Georgia hit Florida with 5 runs in the 6th inning. Here's a ball driven right center field. This is off the fence in the gap. Maldonado scoring. India being waved in. He will score. And J.J. Schwartz has doubled in 2 runs to tie the game at 5-5. An 0-2 mistake.
He's just seeing the ball so well, taking the sliders. This is a hanging slider, and he doesn't try to pull it. This is what they call the cement mixer. And with India's speed, he scores easily. Watch this thing. It just hangs. They call that a cement mixer where it really doesn't do much but spin. He knew it. Well, all the advantage you gained in the momentum given back to the Gators rather quickly here.
232 career RBIs for Schwartz, who's in pursuit of the school record. Preston Tucker at 258.
And what drives Scott Strickland, the Georgia coach, crazy is they get the lead. It's 5-3. Great comeback. And a guy that's known for throwing strikes walks the leadoff hitter again, and that's burned him, a couple times tonight.
Here comes Sean Kenny, pitching coach. Go check that. It's the
boss.
Head coach Scott Strickland. Normally Kenny goes out initially.
Yeah, I think he's going to pull him though.
But that's what I'm saying. Normally Kenny goes out at first, and Strickland, when he walks out, it is to change pitchers in most occasions, and that's exactly the result right here. So after 81 pitches, Jace Atkins cannot win this game now, but he is on the hook, responsible for Schwartz at second base in a 5-5 tie. Tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. So the Gators tie the game on the 2-run double by Schwartz, which KOs Atkins. And now you look at Tony Losi, and Nicky comes in with a 6-1 record.
Yeah, and first guy out of the pen to stop this thing. He's a guy that throws hard. I mean, it's different than what the Gators have been seeing. 94 to 95 on the fastball, curve, changeup. Guy was a midweek starter. So this is something that the Gators are going to have to adjust to, is the hard throwing Losi after facing a guy that was topping out at 85 to 87. That was throwing primarily sliders, and mixing in fastballs. So as hitters, you got to make that adjustment. Let's see if they can do it.
Losi's been tough on hitters. Opponent hitters batting just .219 against him.
And Losi is tipping his cap to, he tips his cap to his defense. That's something he does before he throws his first pitch. Kind of interesting there. Superstition.
Losey at 6'3" and 227 pounds. And here's Austin Langworthy, who bounced out twice to first baseman Adam Sasser when he faced Chase Atkins. I knew I'd throw that in there once in a while. First pitch, strike. Langworthy hitting .296. Gators have the go-ahead run. J.J. Schwartz, the bottom of your screen there, leading off second base. Gators 5 runs, 7 hits. Bulldogs 5 runs, 6 hits. The 1-1 pitch from Losey. Florida comes into this game far and away the league leader in run differential. Gators have scored 191 more runs than the opponents. Auburn is second at plus 152, and then Ole Miss third at plus 135. Langworthy is hitless over his last 10 at-bats.
See if he drops a curveball in here. That fastball registered at 97. I mean, this is almost 10-mile-an-hour difference than they saw earlier in this ball game from Atkins. Atkins' 87 was what he was topping out at.
And it's a tough time to hit right now, too. Not fully dark, but with no sun. But Langworthy, who's such a patient hitter, draws the walk. Runners now first and second with 1 out.
You know what I like about that as well is your teammates that are getting ready to hit get to see the pitches that Losey possesses, as opposed to making it out on the first pitch. You don't get to see anything. So that was twofold. You get yourself on base, but you get to see the array of pitches.
Well, Blake Reese probably glad he's not facing Chase Atkins. Atkins struck him out twice. Reese hitting .256. One of 3 Gators to start all 51 games. Reese, Dalton, and Schwartz, the only 3 to do that. Schwartz at second, Langworthy at first. So 6 of the 8 pitches by Losey have been balls, and now a couple of new arms out there in the bullpen. The left-hander is Justin Glover, Tim Elliott, the righty. See Elliott just getting started, kind of a run-up as he delivers. It's kind of a cricket delivery. This game of baseball is tough enough, Nick. Can you imagine the pitcher can run 2 or 3 steps coming down the mound and throw a pitch?
Very cricket-like.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say this about cricket. The thing here in baseball, you got 90 degrees to hit.
Right.
Cricket, you got 180.
Yeah, there's no foul territory.
But then again, in cricket, the bat is flat. So I guess who's to say? There, that now is the pitching coach coming out in Sean Kenny.
Well, they're going to chat. I mean, you come in, you walk the first guy, and now you're 3-0 on the second guy. We gotta talk here. And you probably saying, well, why are there 2 different pitchers in the bullpen right now? Well, the way it's pretty much set up is we got our guys we're going to put in if we're behind. We got our guys we're going to put in if we're ahead.
Three balls, no strikes. Blake Reese is 11th in the SEC in drawing walks. Been a wild 6th inning. Georgia got 5 runs in the top of the inning. Florida has added 2 and still batting here in the bottom of the inning. There's a ball driven to left center field, and it will be caught by McGovern, and they may get the double play, but they throw it to the wrong base. Schwartz thought that ball might be getting in there, even though the play was out in front of him. If they throw to the right base quickly enough, they would have doubled him off.
Yeah, McGovern, the outfield, in his defense, he's going to assume that the guy's tagging. He's not thinking that the guy's probably rounding third by the time he catches the ball. And that's almost the case. JJ thinks it's going to land. So he's thinking, okay, I got to keep, just get it in and keep the runner at second base. By throwing it towards third base, he just kind of whirled around and got it in.
It's up to Keenan Bell now. Reese hit that ball very well, but McGovern ran it down.
It's almost like the wind knocked it down.
Bell has walked and has grounded out. He scored in the 3rd inning.
That pitch at 95.
Schwartz and Langworthy on base. In the top of the 7th inning, Georgia will have the top of its batting order coming up. Bradley, Shunk, and McGovern. Two and two. Bell hitting .221. Pitch is going to get away. Losey trying to make the put out, and he will do it to retire the side. That's a K-1-3 put out. In the inning, the Gators scored twice with 2 hits, and we go to the 7th inning here at McKeithen Stadium tonight. Florida 5 and Georgia 5. For the 7th inning, a 5-5 game. Nick, let's go back and look at that last at bat.
Yeah, it actually goes down as a strikeout. It hit Keenan Bell, but if you offer at a pitch that hits you, it's just a strike. So it's a dead ball, end of inning. All right, so going to hit him with the back foot. Right there on the, it's the outer part of his foot.
So it's officially just a K and not a K-1-3.
Just a regular K. Jeff Head, he did a nice job, called that right away. I noticed something at the end. He kept flying out in the infield and had his arm raised. But let's face it, Losey, the pitcher, you got to go through with the play. And he still made a nice play, but really didn't need to.
So here in the top half of the 7th inning, the top of the batting order for Georgia, Tucker Bradley, 0 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. And a base hit. Just missed the foot of Singer. And so now both teams with 5 runs and 7 hits. And for Tucker Bradley now, he extends his hitting streak to 14 games in a row.
And 11 for 14 in stolen bases. So let's see how frisky Scott Strickland gets here.
Now here's third baseman Aaron Schunk, who singled in the 6th. Little bat handle pop up here. Caught by Reese. It's a good hitter retired there. Schunk with a 17-game hitting streak.
You know, you've seen this sometimes. I've seen this in big league games where the second baseman will actually let it hit the ground and get the force at second to erase the better base stealer. But I'll tell you, just make the catch and let's play on. Don't get tricky.
Now Keegan McGovern. After the first pitch as well, Nick Horvath, 2 away.
Big out quickly. That was a big out that he didn't have to labor. There's Jordan Butler, has been up and throwing. Boy, he's been great this year, the freshman out of the Tampa area.
Well, that'll bring up Michael Curry. 0 for 2. Curry hitting .317. He was the first team all SEC DH last year. .297 average last year. Led Georgia with 10 home runs at 46 RBI. He led Georgia in home runs as a freshman, too. He was a freshman All-American in 2016. He hit 11 home runs. He has 29 career long balls, does Curry.
That is a short lead at first base for a fast runner.
Georgia started this year 7-1. Then later the Dogs won 9 in a row from March 17th to March 30th.
There's the lead right there. I mean, that's a guy 11 for 14, but it's not very aggressive. And this is a situation where you're expecting breaking ball. One would think. I mean, breaking ball count. That'd be a good pitch to try to run on. There it was. See, that would have been a great pitch to run on because now you got JJ reaching over. He'd have to get up from the ground and make a good throw with a fast runner. That's why those always good pitches to run on. Used to love running on 1-2 counts, 2-2 counts where you know a breaking ball's coming.
Back up the middle, another base hit. If they'd had that runner moving, Nick, they'd have been on the corners.
Yeah, if he had gone to pitch before, that would have been probably a 2-out RBI right there. That's going to be it.
So Sully coming out as his ace, Brady Singer, sitting on 100 pitches. 9th time this year he's had 100, including 5 in a row. He's thrown at least 100 pitches.
He's trying to talk him out of it. Yeah, he said, come on, give me one more. He's already taught. He looks over at the hitter and says, I can get this guy. He actually just said that. Let's see what happens. And then JJ's weighing in right here. JJ's weighing in. Singer's weighing in. He talked him out of it. Here we go. There we go. Well, you know, your coach is showing you confidence. You talked him into letting you out there. Now you got to deliver. Here we go.
Well, when you're 10-1.
Yeah. Yeah, you get extra points there.
And in your career, 21-8.
Yeah, and you're 100 pitches into this game. And you're like, okay, you know, give me 105 pitches. He's got to get a tough hitter. And, you know, Sully's got to make a decision, too. I mean, who do I want going after Sasser now? You know, he had Butler, the lefty, warming up. So going with this show of confidence here is you got Sasser, the lefty, facing Singer, the righty. But this is, you know, this is not just any righty. This is a guy that's going to go in the first round.
Sasser walked in the 6th, was on board when The home run was hit by Talley. Tucker Maxwell is in as a pinch runner, by the way, now for Michael Curry.
That's a good way to start it. A tight little slider at the knees. Maxwell getting a big lead off of first. I don't know if the Gators have a back pick play, but if they do, they might be able to get him here.
Breaking ball right in there. 1 and 2.
Yeah, you got to be smart with this pitch. You don't want to overthrow it. I mean, he's a 95+ guy. If he's going to run the fastball, get that good two-seam movement going away. Now, we also see him back away hitters and catch that inside corner.
He caught Sasser in the 4th inning looking at a called third strike. This one gets away from Schwartz. And everybody advances now, 2nd and 3rd.
A 1-2 pitch. You can see Schwartz right there. It looks at his web.
So Schwartz charged with a pass ball.
He's going outside, set up inside.
And 2-2 pitch. He gets Sasser.
On a changeup.
Bulldogs leave 2 in scoring position. Crowd rises in applause with a strikeout and for the 7th inning stretch. Baseball Al trying to get the crowd excited. It's a 5-5 game here at the MAC in the bottom of the 7th. Meanwhile, in Columbia, Missouri, the SEC softball tournament continuing, and what a day it was for Nicole DeWitt, hitting 2 home runs for Florida as the Gators beat Tennessee by a score of 10-2. They actually run-ruled the Volunteers on this hit right here, which made the final play. The Gators winning it 10-2, and so now Florida advancing to meet South Carolina, the 3 seed in the SEC Softball Tournament Championship tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You'll see it on the Deuce. Florida and South Carolina.
How blessed are the Gators? Tim Walton, softball, Kevin O'Sullivan, baseball. Great leaders.
Nick Horvath leads off the 7th. Meanwhile, Tucker Maxwell, who was in the game as a pinch runner, stays in the game. He plays in center field. C.J. Smith is moving from center field over to right field. Tucker Bradley coming out. And strike 3 taken by Horvath.
Well, we'll see. He's a hard thrower. And this is the first time that Horvath has seen him. That pitch worked its way back in. Actually wasn't supposed to be where it was, but caught enough of the plate. Actually caught a lot of the plate. Wasn't supposed to.
Now Deacon Lippett, who has squared up 3 balls tonight, has just 1 hit. It was a double to right. He smoked one to the right of the second baseman, L.J. Talley, who gloved it in the first inning, threw him out. In the 5th inning, he hit a ball deep to center field. It was caught by then C.J. Smith. Lippett at 305. Five tie, bottom of the 7th. Both teams tonight had lost leads. Florida led 3-0 going to the 6th. Georgia got 5 runs in the top of the inning. Had a 2-run lead, but the Gators answered with 2 runs in the bottom of the inning. There's a line drive snagged by Sasser. So Lippett is 1 for 4 on a night in which he could possibly have had 4 hits.
Once again, right on the screws. Don't change anything, Deacon.
So 2 out. Tony Losi walked the first man he faced, Langworthy, in the 6th. But since then, he's retired 4 straight. Now here's Nelson Maldonado. Last year, the Gators played 26 one-run games. This year, they played just 5. That's line but foul. Last year, the Gators led the nation in one-run wins at 19-7. This year, they're 4-1.
Look at Tucker, Bradley, and Wright. That's deep for opposite way. He's like 2 steps from the warning track. And they do play him the pull in the infield. I changed that C.J. Smith. They just switched him over. But yes, Smith is deep in right.
One ball, 2 strikes on Maldonado. That's fouled out of play. Good crowd here tonight, as we mentioned. 5,279. 5,279 at McKeithen Stadium. Beautiful night.
Yeah, the breeze is kicking around now, cooling everything off. See, this is what Maldonado does. We've seen him do it countless times this year. Fall behind the count, start fouling off pitches. Next thing you know, it's a 3-2. Talking to Brad Weitzel, he says his teammates crack up when he does this because they expect him to.
Bouncing ball out to Cam. And he throws him out. The Georgia shortstop, Cam Shepard, throwing him out. And the inning goes down 1-2-3. We go to the 8th inning. It's 5-5. Gators got on the board first, Nick.
Yeah, Nelly Maldonado right there. RBI single, actually two-run RBIs. And then Brady Singer. Now this is a tricky play here. Keenaville thought he had it. He kicks away on Cam Shepard's ground ball, but that opens the door for L.J. Talley. And he hits a grand slam. Gave Georgia the 5-3 lead at that point. The Gators come back. J.J. Schwartz splits the defenders. Scores Maldonado, and India ties this thing up. Ourselves heck of an SEC Friday night.
And so here on the top of the 8th inning, the Gators call on the freshman left-hander Jordan Butler to pitch.
Kid out of Alonzo High School, the same high school that brought you Alex Faedo. Freshman has had a sparkling year, 42 strikeouts in 39 and 2/3 innings, only 16 walks, and the ERA is great. Sully, just the confidence in this kid right now is brimming.
First pitch, strike 1 to Cam Shepard. He was 0 for 3. It was Shepard who hit the ball down to first base. That Bell dropped for an error.
And one thing we notice about Butler, he gets it and goes quick. Up-tempo pitcher. As
a result of that error at first base, Brady Singer tonight goes 7 innings, allows 8 hits, 5 runs, but only 1 run was earned. 1 earned run. Struck out 6, walked 1. Singer threw 105 pitches. But he will not be the pitcher of record in this game tonight, as Butler gets Shepard to fly out for the first out here in the 8th. Singer's only loss this year came against Arkansas. It was here on March the 23rd. He lost 6-3. So Brady Singer will take a 10-1 record to the mound next Thursday night when the series begins at Mississippi State. Mason Meadows is 0 for 3. 304 hitter. Redshirted last year. Quite an athlete in high school in Roswell, Georgia. He lettered, of course, in baseball all 4 years. Lettered in football for 4 years. Lettered in basketball for 2. 6'1", 220-pounder. In there for a called strike 1. Georgia was picked to finish 5th in the Eastern Division in the preseason balloting. So they've surprised some people. I may have a play on this ball. And it hit the top of the press box. They had him played perfectly.
I saw you working on your defense earlier today before the game started.
You mean the duck and run mood that I had? He got him. 2 out.
He's going to freeze him right here. He's looking breaking ball. He gets fouled. That splits the plate.
7 Georgia hitters have struck out.
He's got a lot of funk in that delivery. It's hard to pick him up. And then it drop down a little bit on you.
Well, if it wasn't for this guy at the plate right now, Florida would have a pretty comfortable lead. L.J. Talley hit Georgia's 6th Grand Slam home run of the year. That tied a Georgia record, by the way, when he hit the Grand Salami in the 6th.
Yeah, inner third fastball. Barreled it up. Put a good swing on it.
So it's strike 3 looking. Butler comes in and strikes out 2. Sets him down in order. So now we go to the last half of the 8th inning. The Gators 5 and the Dogs 5. The 2 best teams this year in the SEC battling here at McKethan Stadium. Florida with a 3-game lead over second place Georgia. The Gators' magic number to win the title is 3, but it's 5-5 here in the 8th. A lot of teams jockeying for position for the SEC tournament in 2 weeks. Georgia last year had a 25-win season. They went 25-32. This year the Dogs 34-14. So here we go to the last of the 8th. Gators have the heart of their batting order with India, Dalton, and Schwartz against Tony Losi. India doubled in the first, had an infield base hit in the 6th inning. 2 for 3, now hitting .387.
He took that because he was sitting slider right there.
And he got him.
Yeah, his waist pitch, it was a fastball up and in that just tied Jonathan up. Nice job of pitching by Losi. I mean, that's a tough hitter he's facing.
And 6 in a row retired by Losey.
You can see Meadows right there. That target was up around the letters and in.
So give Losey credit, and also you have to credit Sean Kenny. Since his visit to the mound, Losey has been straightened out. Now here's Will Dalton.
Yeah, you better bottle that speech, right?
Dalton 0 for 3, and as well as Losey is pitching, though, he doesn't want to make a mistake.
Well, this is the guy that can burn you. 16 home runs. Just an amazing addition from the JUCO ranks. And a big part, Mick, of this offense this year, coming in, adding that kind of power in the middle. Really made Jonathan India better, made JJ's year better.
Big cut there.
I mean, you don't see the JUCO transfers coming in hitting 20 home runs anymore. Those days are gone. And, you know, I guess the benchmark was Brandon Larson with LSU back in '97. Came in from Blinn Junior College in the Gorilla Ball era. Right?
Yeah. And the year before that, I think it was Roberto Vaz came in Alabama out of the JUCO ranks. And there's strike 3 to Dalton. Or excuse me, strike 3 to Dalton, isn't it? Well, I guess strike 2. I had 2 strikes written down, so obviously I was in error on one of my charts. So now 2-2.
Yeah, that year Larson had 40 home runs and 118 RBIs from the JUCO ranks. Of course, he signed right after that.
The 2-2 pitch coming from Tony Losey to Will Dalton. J.J. Schwartz in the on-deck circle. A 5-5 game here in the last of the 8th.
I mean, he's a fastball guy. I mean, if you're a hitter, you got to sit fastball here. If he gets you with slider, you tip your cap. And that was the slider, and he fought it off. But you don't want to be looking slider here on 3-2 and miss a fastball right down the middle. I mean, you'll lose sleep if you do that. If you sit fastball here and he throws you a dandy slider, you swing at it, you sleep like a baby. But obviously it's a lot harder to throw a slider for a strike in a game where the hitter is the potential lead run in the 8th inning. One would think challenge, but it's amazing. He went breaking ball there. So what's he do here?
That hit him. Yep, would have been ball 4 anyway, but there's a base runner. The go-ahead run trotting to first base for Florida.
Yeah, challenging with a fastball and just overthrew it. He tried to muscle up on it 3-2 to get it by Will Dalton. He just basically lost it. Well, you hate getting hit with a pitch on a fastball 95 on ball 4, don't you? That's 0-2. Boy, that feels good, 0-2, but not so much 3-2.
That's the 8th hit batter by Losey and the 54th by Georgia.
Sully went out there and talked to Jeff Head. Jeff Head went out there and talked. Now, I don't know if they're talking about an equipment thing. That's a chain around his neck he was tucking in.
So here's Schwartz. He's had a home run and a double tonight. And 3 RBI. This pitch is hit down the right field line, but it's going to be pushed out of play.
Just by that swing, you could tell JJ was looking first pitch slider.
Schwartz with a 7-game hitting streak, 13 for his last 27.
Now you're throwing over to first base with some purpose because Dalton has shown he can steal a base.
In the last 5 games, Florida has 8 for 8 in stolen base attempts. Gators are third in the league in steals, 55 of them. Back up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. Dalton will cautiously stop at second base. Third hit of the game for J.J. Schwartz, who is flirting with that .332 batting average he had as a freshman. He's just below it right now.
And now if you're Scott Strickland, you're thinking, is my guy out of gas here? Throwing a decent amount of pitches for a relief appearance.
But he retired 6 in a row when he struck out Jonathan India. Then on 3-2 he hits Dalton. And a 0-1 pitch to Schwartz is singled right back through the box. Now Austin Langworthy. 2 ground outs to first base and a walk for Langworthy, who's hitless in his last 10 at bats. There go the runners, and now they stop, and now the Gators are in a pickle here. Here's a play to third, and Dalton is thrown out at third. He had to run because Schwartz was barreling down on second base.
Well, this is one of those deals. After the game, we'll figure out who missed the sign. Well, okay, 2 things that happened. It obviously was a double steal because you saw Dalton take off, but once he puts on the brakes, you can't take second base if you're Schwartz, but you don't expect your runner to go halfway down there and put on the brakes either. So as the runner at first base, you're pretty sure that guy committed if he saw the double steal.
So now 2 out. And the go-ahead run at second base.
You know, the bad news about that, Mick, it was actually a decent pitch to steal because it was a pitch that was off speed. And the catcher had to go down to get it. Would not have been in great throwing form. Boy, that's a big break for Georgia. At least for the moment.
Two balls, no strikes for Langworthy. Now they're going to put him on.
If you're a hitter here, I'm telling you, I would pay attention. He may lay one over the plate by accident. You got to be ready. I've seen big league games lost because of that. Back in the day when they used to do that. Back in, I think, what, 2017 and earlier. You had to throw the pitches in the big leagues. Yeah, back in the day.
So runners on first and second again. And they're going to face Blake Reese, who's 0 for 3 tonight. But probably he's going to hit against a left-hander.
Yeah, he's a switch hitter, so
yeah.
They had a righty warming up. So
okay. They're going to keep him as a left-handed hitter.
Yep.
And so they go into the pen. So a new pitcher coming in. We'll tell you more about him right after this. The SEC tournament beginning on May 22nd at Hoover. Teams jockeying for position. Right now we know this, Florida and Georgia are the only 2 teams who have assured themselves a spot in the tournament. And the Gators holding a 3-game lead over Georgia. The Gator magic number to win the league title is 3. That's a look at the East. South Carolina is in 3rd place. Only 3 teams in the East with winning league records. And so, for Georgia now, they go into the pen and bring in Zach Christopher.
The much used league leading appearance, Zach Christopher, in his 27th appearance. He's the guy that he just wants the ball. He's one of those, I'm just coming at you. Low 90s, bulldog mentality. Heck, he closed out the game Tuesday night at SunTrust Park against Georgia Tech. Threw 2 innings, struck out 5. Fastball, curveball guy. OC hoping he could keep it at 5. to 5.
Losi 6'3" and 237. And then you look at Kristofak, 5'9" and 178. And so Blake Reese, a switch hitter, stays in there as a left-handed bat.
So you went from the power forward to the point guard? Equally as effective. This kid's been tough.
Go-ahead run, Schwartz at second base. Langworthy at first. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th.
And you wonder how Kevin O'Sullivan's going to play it. Does Butler go out 5-5? If it stays that way, obviously Byrne will come in if the Gators take the lead here.
Jeff Head looking over into that dugout.
And he's throwing easily. If the Gators take the lead, he'll throw in earnest. Doesn't take him long to get loose. .20 slider.
Reese has 1 hit in his last 8 at-bats. That was a home run against USF Tuesday night.
Actually looked more like a hard curveball. He's going to get stereo now, Jeff Head, because I'm sure the Gators didn't like that call, as Georgia didn't like a couple early in this sequence. The life of an ump. Can't please everybody.
Sometimes you can't please anybody. Now the count full with another left-handed hitter, Keenan Bell, on deck. Both teams with 5 runs on 8 hits in the game. And he got him. Blew it right past him. Inning is over. The Gators threaten, making out on the base paths and fail to score. And we go to the 9th at 5-5. Well, there you see, it's a rare occurrence between these two teams to be tied after 8 innings. Georgia has won 2 out of 3 in this scenario. The Gators 1-0 when tied going to the 9th. We're 5-5. Quite an inning for Jordan Butler in the 8th. 2 strikeouts, retired Georgia in order. C.J. Smith leads off the 9th inning with a foul fly down the left field line. He's had a good night with a single and a double. 2 for 3. 5 for his last 9 at the plate. For the freshman from Royston, Georgia, who was homeschooled, by the way. Smith hitting in the 9 hole. Back up the middle, that's going to be a base hit. I'm sure Butler is wondering how he missed it.
That got through everyone somehow. Wow. I thought it was going to get knocked down around second base, and it did not. Watch this. Lippitt tries. Reese can't get it. That thing was destined for center field. Now you're in a bunt scenario.
So here's Tucker Maxwell. And he shows bunt and he fouls it into the seats behind the plate. And a fan makes a one-hand bare hand grab. And then tosses it down to a youngster down there who's a happy camper.
Even better.
Right place at the right time for both of them.
Want to get that bat in front of home plate, 45-degree angle, show it early, and catch it with the barrel.
And that's not what he wanted to do.
I think we're going to have an argument here.
Yep, Sully's out.
Because he's going to say he offered at it. If he offers at it and he does not pull his bat back in time, it's going to be called a strike. No, that's going to be a strike. And that's something I think you could take a look at, can't you?
Well, in the ninth inning, it's an automatic, right? The umpires will do that.
I had a similar situation a couple of weeks ago, a game I did, Purdue and Indiana, and same exact thing, but the hitter pulled away. I'm shocked you're not talking about this. If you can, or are they calling him out right now? I'm really confused on what's going on as far as I guess what they're saying is he was trying to get out of the way of that, which I disagree with.
Well, Sully takes the ball out of the hand of Jordan Butler. So let's take another look at this this play here.
I mean, I've seen this play many a time. I mean, if you have the bat offering, whether it ties you up and you don't get it away in time, that's just too bad. But this is going to go past the bat as he is not pulling it away. It's a bad luck deal, but that should have been a strike as far as I've seen.
You see hit by pitch is listed in this group of experimental reviewable calls the SEC is using this year. Hit by pitch being one of them.
And I mean, that's what that has been determined, hit by a pitch. I mean, it obviously hit him, but it was, did it hit him as he was offering at the pitch? I mean, it clearly looked to me like he was offering it at the pitch. Again, a couple weeks ago, again, it was similar where on the replay they showed that the hitter clearly pulled the bat back in time when he got hit with the pitch. That clearly wasn't the case here. He was still had his barrel in front of, pointed at the pitcher, and it went past his barrel, hit him in the chest.
So now Georgia is sitting pretty, runners at first and second and no one out, but they've got to look at the all-time saves leader in Gators history, who's not thinking about a save right here. He's thinking about slamming the door shut and picking up a win. It's in the hands now of Michael Byrne.
Now, Michael Byrne, the greatest of all time here at the University of Florida. I mean, those numbers are wonderful. I mean, but it tells part of the story. The other part of the story is 31 career saves. Broke the record last year with 19. And here's a guy that was a preferred walk-on from high school and has made himself arguably the greatest closer in college baseball. And the history of the University of Florida, the greatest closer. So, well, he's used to this. Tough situation.
Aaron Schunk is showing bunt. And he lays down a beauty. Byrne slipping a little bit, but recovering to make a strike throw to first base. Yeah, that's a good sac bunt for Schunk. And now Georgia, with a sacrifice fly, can take the lead. A hit could score 2.
Yeah, that was, he picked up the ball around. Remember where there was a divot earlier in the game? It almost looked like he slipped, and he had to right himself and make a good throw here. Look at that area right there where he was. No, he wasn't near it, but that was a Nice whirl around play as he backhanded it, and they're going to put this next hitter on, create a double play scenario and a force at each base, and you do that with a guy that's a strike thrower.
Well, this will be just the second intentional walk issued by Florida pitchers all season long. So that loads the bases. And they'll pitch next to Michael Curry, who is the cleanup hitter in the DH role. So here comes Curry. Curry, by the way, has hit 2 Grand Slam home runs. Hit one against Georgia Southern in the season opening game. And then against Kennesaw State on March 13th, he had another grand salami. Georgia has hit 6 Grand Slam home runs this year to tie the school record, including one tonight. A healthy fly ball will give the Dogs the lead. Curry 1 for 3. This is popped up. India coming into foul territory, and out number 2.
Well, we've seen him do it time and time again in these scenarios. And again, the unassuming Michael Byrne, ho-hum, and he knows he's got one more big out to go.
Left-hand hitting Adam Sasser. .331 hitter. He's been red hot over the last 6 weeks. Sasser was hitting .296 on April 1st. He's raised his batting average 35 points since then. Bases loaded, 2 out. And that one gets away from Schwartz, and Georgia takes the lead. Smith scoring, and it's now 6-5.
It looks like it hit him in the glove right here. Yes, it did. So that's going to be a pass ball. Some weird things happening in this inning for the Gators.
One ball, 1 strike. Little check swing, soft liner to India to end the inning. But Georgia gets the go-ahead run. 1 hit. They lead 2. And now the Gators needing a run to tie, trailing it 6-5. So we go to the last half of the 9th inning here at McKeithen Stadium, where the Gators have won 26 of the 31 games. 26-5 here in this ballpark, but trailing tonight, now 6-5. And Georgia with a couple of changes. Patrick Sullivan goes in to play first base for Georgia. Patrick Sullivan is the new first baseman. So here's Keenan Bell. The Gators will go 8-9-1 here in the 9th inning. Bell tonight 0 for 2.
Let's see what Sully has him do here. 2-0.
The Gators have had only 3 last at-bat wins. Just one was a walk-off win. Gators beat Rhode Island 3-2.
I don't know if Scott Strickland thought maybe it was not a foul ball. Hit him off the instep. And obviously from Scott Strickland's standpoint where he was in the dugout, I didn't see that.
Jordan Butler has the Gators' only walk-off game-winning hit. Ninth inning hit beat Rhode Island 3-2 on March 10th. Gators won a road game at Tennessee in their only extra inning game played this year. They won at Tennessee in 11 innings, 6-4. Then against Missouri on April the 13th, Dalton had a 2-run double in the 8th inning to give the Gators a 3-1 win.
Nice job fighting off right there. Keep fighting him off. Hope he makes a mistake and hangs you one. Playing Keenan Bell deep in the outfield all the way around.
Fouled out of play again.
That might have been it right there. That looked like a hanger.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Bell. Nick Horvath in the on-deck circle. Bell hitting only .220 for the year. And he has a base hit to right field, leading off the bottom of the 9th inning.
And a 9-pitch at bat. That's outstanding. Now let's see if Sully puts a pinch runner out there. I'm expecting that. What a great at bat.
So Andrew Baker goes into pinch run for Keenan Bell.
Well, that's a big trade-off in speed right there. And that's a guy, if you gap it, he's going to score.
Well, now Nick Horvath, who's hitless in 3 at-bats.
And one stinking bunt scenario. I mean, you got Deacon Lippin on deck, who's hitting everything on the screws, and then 2-3 in the order.
Horvath has 1 sacrifice bunt on the year. Takes a strike.
A couple things you can do. A hit and run here would be a little risky.
Yeah, you recall the Gators made an out on the base pass last inning.
Yeah, that really hurt that dynamic of that inning for sure. Good lead.
That's a foul ball. Last inning, the Gators opened the inning with a strikeout. Then Dalton was hit by pitch, and Schwartz singled up the middle. They had runners first and second, 1 out. They tried a double steal.
Yeah, and Dalton was almost halfway to third when he slammed on the brakes, and that's what caught JJ in no man's land.
So Dalton was taken out at third base, the front end. That hurt the Gators' 8th inning chances.
I'm not expecting Baker to go here 0-2 at all. Got to remember, with him on base, still the winning runs at the plate. Nice job right there, keeping the ball in front by Meadows. It's a nice job tonight.
Georgia is 6-4 this year in 1-run games. There's a base hit to left for Horvath. Baker stopping at second. Gators have now hit the Dogs 10-9. Runners first and second, nobody out.
Okay, Tuesday night we were in the same scenario, right, Nick? Deacon lip it up, he lays down a bunt, they throw it away. 2 runs end up scoring. If that happens tonight, the game would be over. Let's see if Kevin O'Sullivan puts the bunt on for Deacon Lippett. Remember Tuesday night he was hitting the ball on the screws and he put the bunt down.
Well, he's hit the ball on the screws tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, very similar scenario to Tuesday night, except here you're talking about 9th inning down 1.
Well, how about the 8 and 9 spots? Back-to-back base hits here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now Lippett. Remember now, the other Georgia closer is over at third base. That's the third baseman, Aaron Shunk. And when you're standing out there defensively, he hasn't even thrown. He really hasn't warmed that arm up. So they're staying here with Christofac as long as they can. They creep in at first base. Sullivan coming in. Shunk is staying even with the bag at third.
Yeah, and I'm told Shunk, and I'm sure he was probably doing that, and I didn't see it in my view, playing catch between innings real quick to get the arm loose. They're looking bunt. Lippett showing it.
Lippett has 2 sacrifice bunts this year. That pitch comes in and it hit him. And so the bases are full of Gators with nobody out. Georgia leading the league in hitting batters. They've hit a couple of Gators tonight. This crowd now comes alive.
Deacon Lippett, as this season is going, has become such a big part of this ball club, setting the tone and driving in runs now lately and playing great defense. I mean, a rough year without a Deacon Lippett. I guess they're going to go ahead and make that change. Shunk does throw between innings to keep his arm loose in this eventuality, so he's not necessarily coming in completely cold.
Trey Logan came out of the dugout.
Yeah.
So he is the guy that's going to go in.
And he usually goes into second.
And play second base.
Right.
Tally will move to third.
Yeah, that's what they've been doing all year, and I'm suspecting that. Shunk now is... And don't think he hasn't warmed up. This is something that has been his... See, now that's great right there. That was Gordon, the Gator fan. They're dancing.
So we had a very exciting 6th inning. Georgia got 5 in the 6th. The Gators got 2 in the 6th. That made the score 5-5. Here in the 9th, an exciting inning again. Georgia takes the lead in the top of the inning on a pass ball. And now here in the bottom of the 9th, the Gators go single hit batter to load the bases with no one out, forcing Georgia to make multiple moves, including bringing the third baseman, Aaron Shunk, into the mound to pitch.
And he is their closer, and in a situation where bases loaded, nobody out, winning run at second, tying run at third, 16th appearance. I mean, the numbers are outstanding for Shunk. 87 to 90 on the fastball. He gets a lot of movement. 7 for 8 saves on the season, but this is not coming in a clean inning, so you can't get more pressure than he has on him. He's facing the University of Florida down 1 in Gainesville, and he's got to face Maldonado, India, and Dalton. That's a tall order right there.
Well, here's the other changes. Tally, who is at second base, moves to third base, replacing Shunk there, and Trey Logan now goes out to play second base. This is the way Georgia has operated all year long in these positions. So really the only infielder that's staying in his normal spot at the start of this game is the shortstop, Cam Shepard. The other 3 are guys who have moved around.
If the Gators win this ball game, this inning, That 9-pitch at bat, Keenan Bell starting this thing off, really set the tone.
Maldonado singled in the first, singled in the third, walked and scored in the sixth. Grounded out to the shortstop Shepard, his last at bat. He's hitting just .250 with bases loaded this year. However, he's hitting .409 with runners in scoring position, and that's what happened when he batted in the third inning, singling up the middle to bring in the first 2 runs of this game. So in his mind, he's got to think, I'm batting with men in scoring position, not with the bases loaded. Aaron Schunk ready. And he fouled it back.
The way they're playing it defensively in the infield, Sullivan, the first baseman, is playing about a step in. And he's going to come to the plate. Double play up the middle. The double play ties this ball game.
They appeal. That's called a ball.
And this is another grinder, Nelson Maldonado. He'll make you work.
Yeah, Maldonado and Langworthy are probably the 2 hitters that will grind out at bats better than any other Gators.
Sometimes could take advantage of that first baseman in and slap it right side by him.
There's a ball driven out into center field. It will be caught by Maxwell. The tying run will come on, and the runner at second base, Horvath, comes over to third, and so it is 6-6 on the sac fly by Maldonado. Now another healthy sac fly, and Florida will win this game. 3 RBIs tonight for Maldonado.
Now coming through in a big way. Got a pitch elevated. It's outstanding right there. Now, with the runners on the corner, you're forced to pitch to India. You don't technically have that base open. I guess you do, but you're still looking double play here.
India 2 for 4 in the game. Yeah, they have that option, Nick. You're right. It's a little unconventional, but
correct.
But the runner at second, who's not there now, means nothing. The only runner that counts is the guy over at third base.
Right.
And so, do you want to pitch to India, or do you want to pitch to Dalton, who is second in the league in striking out?
Yeah, I would pitch around him, and that's what they're going to do. This is a smart move. I mean, if this goes wrong and Dalton hits a 500-foot home run, if you're Scott Strickland, you're going to sleep like a baby, because trying to get this guy out, Jonathan India, and it doesn't work out, you're going, well, why did I pitch to him? You're going to think that all night long. So I even with 1 strike, I like this move. But it's interesting that they did throw him 1 pitch before he decided to do it. They actually gave him a shot. No, I think this is a smart play. Yeah. And you know, McGovern's known as a strike thrower, so it's not like he's guys all over the place.
India receiving his 4th intentional walk. He's gotten 4 of the Gators' 6th intentional walks this year. So that moves Lippett to second, but of course he means nothing. The whole ball game sits at third base. That's Nick Horvath, who would be the winning run should he cross the plate.
And they're bringing the outfielders in at this point.
So here's Dalton, who is 0 for 3.
Yep, there's the outfield all brought in, and that's the correct play. You want to take away any line drive that you could possibly throw the runner out at. Double play up the middle.
Dalton has a game winner this year, a 2-run double in the 8th inning to beat Missouri 3-1.
And Sullivan, the first baseman, is still in a step, and you wonder if he's going to come home or try a double play. I guess it all depends on how hard the ball's hit to him. If it's hit hard to him, he should try a double play.
Ball 2. Dalton sitting pretty now.
Yeah, and Kevin O'Sullivan's got to make a decision here too. And you know, the guy's 2-0, game on the line, or do you turn your guy loose here 2-0? I wouldn't be surprised if he's hacking.
Three balls and no strikes.
Well, I don't think he's doing anything here, especially that pitch.
Crowd comes to its feet. Almost 5,300 here tonight. 6-6, bottom of the ninth inning. Winning run at third base, one out. Bases loaded.
And that barely was a strike right there.
Georgia took the lead in the top of the inning on a pass ball. One more wide one would give the Gators a win on a bases loaded walk-off. There's a high fly ball. It's going to be a ball game. It's all over as the center fielder doesn't even make the catch, and the Gators have won the ball game as Will Dalton brings home Nick Horvath, and the Gators come bolting out of that dugout, winning in the bottom of the ninth inning. Second time this week they've rallied to win, and they've reduced their magic number for an SEC championship to 1.